Hi, Clayton speaking. Hoping you and yours are doing well today. Welcome into StickySims. This is my YouTube channel where I love to build and play The Sims. Today we are in StrangerVille. There is a awesome playthrough when it comes to this game pack, and a very central lot to the whole story is the StrangerVille Information Center, so the library that's right in the middle of town. And as a builder who has opinions and a mic in front of him, I found that there was a lot of room for improvement. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to improve upon the StrangerVille library, but I also decided to cross the design with a build challenge that's being hosted this month by Pretty Poison Simming. I'll put a link in my description to her channel. A fellow simmer, of course, but I really look up to her as a remarkable YouTube content creator. She puts out some quality videos, so go check out her channel. But more about the challenge. So it's hashtag PPS secrets. So the idea was you're going to build a home or a community lot, and it needed to include a secret room or some type of area that was like suspect. So my mind immediately went to StrangerVille. We'll touch more on the secret room later once we get inside, but I just wanted to mention the challenge now because you do have until, I believe, the end of the month to get this done, if you'd like to participate. Now, let's talk about the build a little bit while we're here. I've seen plenty of people do a tower-shaped structure here, which makes a lot of sense because the library lot is basically designed to be right here in the center of town, which is still appalling to me that the original lot that they put here is in the center of the town. I mean, there are lots surrounding it that looked prettier than the original thing. Anyways, let me quit bitching about that. When I think of a library, especially a library as like a centerpiece of the town, I was thinking of going in two directions. I was either going to go the route of like maybe kind of a church type structure or like a school, like a university type thing. And ultimately, I kind of went more the university route. You can tell that I used a lot of the Discover University pack with this one. Kind of a mix of the Discover University and Life and Death pack. I felt that these packs really catered towards my want to make this look very beautifully crafted type architecture, a centerpiece of the town. I guess like a bank of information. I wanted it to look like it's safeguarding the secrets of StrangerVille. At this point, we've mostly got the exterior, like the shell of the building done. I did some light landscaping for two reasons. One, I felt that it didn't really need heavy landscaping because of the world of StrangerVille. And two, the plants and landscaping and such that we got with this pack is underwhelming. So I allowed myself to venture out, and I included these cypress trees just because I felt like it gave the, the balance that I needed from the facade, from the front. But do I honestly think that cypress trees make sense in StrangerVille? To be determined. I mean, I do use some terrain mods, so that might also play into why I was just not pleased with the pieces that I got, but not pieces, like the items that were available to me. If you've seen my speed build before, when I'm building in a world, I do try to primarily use that world or that pack's type of landscaping. It just makes it so much easier for it to look like it fits in the world. Now, one thing I do want to mention, because I kind of discovered this once I started playtesting and making sure that this library was going to work. Now, when you load onto the lot, it basically pulls in what I've used as the front of this library, and it kind of faces into town. But there's this little park and little greenery area behind it. In my head, it was like the backyard of the library. But what was bugging me the most is it seems like when everyone's spawning onto the library lot, say you go visit the library, they all spawn in the park instead of in the middle of town, which out of all the great details that they added into this pack, I just feel like that's a weird detail. That's why are they spawning in the back when we load into the lot from the front, right? Anywho, I started working on the inside, and I added this little platform in the middle, which I ended up changing my mind because you add platforms in after the fact, and then all your freezes and all of your outside trims on the shell get messed up. As you watch me do the interiors, you're going to notice about halfway through that it all just kind of resets. And that is in part the game and in part me. So here it is. I guess I forgot to save, or it failed to save. I can't remember exactly what the error said, but I was just kind of crushed, and it was like the middle of the night. So I just kind of took my losses and I was like, I'll come back to this tomorrow. Which, in hindsight, I am kind of glad that I did, because I had a much clearer idea of where I wanted to go once I started it again the next day. One of my favorite things IRL and one of my favorite things building in The Sims is to have a vaulted type ceiling. So I love to have the second story floor busted out so you can just have this huge height. I don't know, it kind of gives you that grand feel when you're in there. Now, I more recently bought the Book Nook kit, which is super helpful because it's basically bookcases, but you can treat them like cabinets on the wall, and it's beautiful. Also, with other bookcases, the kind that you just have to put, just on a tile on the floor. If you're playing with cutaway view, the bookcases and where you put them can sometimes cause visibility issues while you're trying to play with the lot. And the Book Nook kit fixes that because it's attached to the wall. So if the wall cuts away, you don't see them. But anyways, I still have the habit of trying to be mindful of which direction or which wall of the house I'm going to put bookshelves on. So when I did this lot, there are no windows on one side, and that's where I basically put all of the bookshelves. I kind of had this vision, I guess, in my head of there being a really big staircase in the middle of the lot, and you could just, from the foot of the stairs, you could just see all of the shelves and all of the books up on that wall. Another thing while I'm thinking about it is I was always under the impression that the Strangerville world was very close to Chestnut Ridge, so the horse ranch world. They both apparently are inspired by American cities. So it made a lot of sense to me on the interiors to kind of cross in a lot of the horse ranch stuff. Also, libraries typically have really great fire detection systems, so we could just go really heavy on the wood. Plus, the wood also gives that warm, cozy feel. As warm and cozy of a feel as you can get without a fireplace. Now, this is a community lot, so I want to talk about a few of the amenities and different things that I included in here. Now, you go up the stairs, and I included a little, kids corner, if you will. A little spot for, mom to sit and just let the kids play. There's not really a lot of room for, reading a story. I figured that would be something that you could do outside in the park, in the backyard. I put a few little seating areas here and there. As far as the actual gameplay with the StrangerVille Information Center, I made sure to put a number of computers and desks downstairs because you're going to need that. There's one bathroom downstairs. I also included my best little take at a circulation desk because I felt like if it was a library, it needed a circulation desk. Now, one thing I did add, just because I thought it was cute and I had the space for it, is a cafe, a little coffee cafe, if you will. I think that that's probably more of a bookstore thing, but I don't know. I thought it worked. I thought it fit here. I believe the cafe I used is from the Businesses and Hobbies pack. Then I used a couple of base game objects. I went through a few different signs. I didn't realize how many little decals and signs that we have for coffee. So I guess the Sims community has a lot of coffee drinkers, huh? Coffee and tea drinkers. I used the new reclaimed dining chairs that we got with this last Nature's Calling event. I just think that they're really cute, and I love that they really captured the idea of wood-stained, refurbished furniture. I put a little couch here for chatting. I still feel like I could probably just take it out and it would still work. I don't know. I thought it was cute, and this little cafe area on the second floor definitely lends to some little chats and little convos. Now, I know I started it, but I'm going to come back to it. Like I said, I did put the secret room under the stairs. Now, to be honest, my original thought was I don't know if you've ever seen the show You on Netflix, but I was figuring that it could be a like secret room that goes into a basement with like a big glass room or whatever, but I ultimately had two problems with that. One, I went really ham on the stairs upstairs. So fitting stairs to go into a basement was not really gonna happen. And I also didn't want to like overdo this lot, because if you are playing through Strangerville and you do want to use this lot, I don't want you to have to sit there and wait for it to load. So I guess I was just kind of like, you know what, let me hack back and let's focus more on the intents and purposes of this lot. So I mentioned that I used the reclaimed dining chairs, but I also used the reclaimed wallpaper, the wood wallpaper here. Now, I know a common complaint that everyone has is that the woods and the different wood grains don't all match. But is it kind of controversial to say that I like that to an extent? I mean, yeah, I know in real life, if I was going to do a modern type house or build a more, you know, professional like interiors, yeah, you want all of the woods to match, or if they don't match, you want them to complement each other purposefully. But I don't know, I just like how it kind of adds this little extra dimension to everything. But yeah, I'm getting sidetracked, y'all. So the secret room, right, that was a part of this build challenge where I used the door. It's like a bookcase door that came with the Secret Sanctuary pack. My thought is you can get to the secret door under the stairs, and in that little like secret room, I just put like a bookshelf. I figured that would be the confidentials, you know, the undisclosed files, the secrets of the town that we don't want everyone to know, or could just be, you know, the historical text that they don't want anything bad to happen to. So like the originals of certain things. Anywho, because it's a community lot, I didn't go really heavy on the cluttering, like I said, but I did try to decorate thinking along the lines of it being a library. So all of these like high traffic areas on the first floor are of course one very well lit. I didn't put any like curtains or like window decorations on the first floor, just to allow that bright open feel. I also went to town and put a bunch of rugs, as you're about to see, for one reason, or for two reasons, I should say. The first, I think it looks really good. Two, I feel like in a library, it would make sense to have rugs so that you're not listening to people clunk while you're trying to read or you know, focus on whatever it is that you're working on. Yep, here we go. So I'm putting the little circulation desk that I mentioned earlier. It definitely falls perfectly in between the front and the back door. But what I put in as the front door is technically more the back door when you're actually playing it. But anywho, it's always fun to me to watch my speed builds back as I'm doing these, you know, little narrations for you. And I feel like once I got that base game update with the glass walls, I have just been like a madman with these half walls. It really helps with creating like a custom little furniture piece right here. It also helped me create this illusion of like a hallway kind of thing underneath the stairs. Yeah, let the thing that Clayton told you today, if you remember anything, is to don't sleep on your half walls. They're very useful. Also, you might fall off, have a Humpty Dumpty moment. Anyways, y'all please let me know what you think of this build in the comments. If there's any other community lots or any things that you'd like to see me rebuild, I'm all ears. I'm trying to redefine how I treat my consistency on my YouTube channel, so we're just moving from one build to the next, from one video to the next for you guys, and they'll come as soon as I can get them out. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, leave a comment of what you want to see, and subscribe to my channel. Love you! Bye!